said the after party, heralding everything.
Well, we were. I mean, I think we were all certainly classically trained, and I certainly started through playing the violin at the age of 4, and teeth sort of pulling practice and doing all the grades, and I think which a lot of people can resonate with. And then finally, sort of in the teenage years, you move slightly, your horizons broaden slightly, and Stu and I started playing pop music, and we all went to university, did a music degree, which actually wasn't practical, but was kind of more theoretical and historical.
Yeah, I think that sums it up. I mean, yeah, we all learned instruments, and for me it was, as a teen, what got me really into it was actually as a sort of young teenager, just being really into Nirvana and the Smashing Pumpkins and things like that. It just made me, just found that so exciting and just wanted to be part of it, basically, because I just found that music so exciting at the time. I still do, really. And that got me more in, wanting to play the guitar and write pop music, and it actually got me more into the classical and everything else as well. So that sort of fueled the fire, really. I mean, I was always into it, I was always musical, but it was sort of those grunge rock bands of the early 90s that really got me into it, and then everything else that followed. So that was probably, for me, the pivotal moment, really.
But I think there's a stage where you get absolutely immersed in music and you don't want to think about anything else, and probably quite a specific type of music, like you love grunge or you love U2, and you just really put all your energy into that, and maybe forget your violin practice, and then at some point you wake up from it and you realise that actually you've got lots of knowledge of pop music and lots of knowledge about classical music, and actually you can put all these things together and express yourself that way.
I think when we first started out, a lot of it was just because of practical things. When we started out, we just sort of got together in Toby's parents' loft, and you can't make a huge racket if you're in your parents' loft. So the delicacy of it partly came from that, because we're playing acoustic instruments and things like that. So I think that was sort of accidental. I think that we do have a sort of ethos to make music which pop music, in the sense that it's enjoyed immediately, basically, and everyone can enjoy it. But pop music which is a bit, if you scratch below the surface, is sort of catches the interest, and is kind of artfully assembled and put together. So I think that's the overall ethos, really. Yeah, I mean, they usually come about secondary to the music. Usually, there's been a few exceptions to that, but yeah, usually we will come up with chords and melody and the sort of musical side of it first, and often even arrangements, and the full thing, and the lyrics might come last. I don't think we make a conscious effort to make the lyrics sort of conversational and as natural sounding as possible, really. But at the same time, we're not. We're talking about things that we sort of remember and recall, and things that have really happened to us, or sort of coming from our real emotions and so on. So in that respect, there's an immediacy, but we're not sort of trying to make it sound as sort of conversational and down to earth.
It's not the streets, is it?
No, it's not the streets, in case you hadn't noticed. So yeah, I guess it's an accident, if that is the case. I certainly haven't made a conscious, a happy accident. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good thing.
And I think we were, being called Left With Pictures, I think some of the songs that we started off writing, quite a lot of them were about memories, and the title, well, the name of the band, Left With Pictures, is quite a sort of reminiscent, nostalgic name. So certainly quite a lot of my songs were a bit nostalgic, in keeping with that. And also at the time we were both working as teachers, and I think it does make you think a lot about being that age and seeing the world through a younger person's eyes. So that's sort of something that we've encountered in our lyrics?
Well, I mean, the first thing is always someone, usually Toby or I, will come in with chords and a melody. Usually it just starts with that, and we'll play it to the rest of the band. And at that point there'll be a thumbs up or down. so quite a lot of things get sort of thrown away at that stage. But then the things that do kind of make it through and we work on will then just play around as a band, and that's the most kind of organic stage of it. You know, Toby and I will work on a melody and chords, and then when we're playing it around as a band, that's quite organic, and we'll play a progression, you know, over and over, ad nauseam, really trying different things. You know, we'll just get the instruments out. Fortunately, we can all play different instruments, so we're relatively sort of versatile in what we can pick up and try. So we look for sounds and textures that seem right for the song. And then actually probably the hardest part after that is sort of setting it down and actually deciding on one arrangement, because you know you can jam for hours and hours and discover loads of good things. But I find the hardest part after that is then going, right, okay, now this is how long this section will be, that's the sound for that, that's how many times we'll do it, and actually the kind of nitty-gritty. So that's the kind of process. And then, as I said before, lyrics usually come after that, once the whole arrangement is ready, and it's sort of, I mean, I find lyrics come because they need to be written, really, because if we're going to record it or we're going to perform it live and it's no longer works just kind of mumbling over the top.
Yeah.
So that's sort of, yeah, that's sort of the process as I see it, but I don't know if there's anything to add that I might have missed out.
Definitely, Tom and I thumbed through the rhyming dictionary about 5 minutes before
normally in the
were
studio
last
we've got, you know, the vocal tape, the sort of clock's running out, and enormous, what's it, thesaurus is...
The thesaurus comes out. Yeah.
Not wishing to give the impression that we don't think lyrics are important and that our lyrics lack value in some way.
But quite often you have a hook, like say you say something like "Go Simon Go." Oh, that seems like a gift. It seems like, as you said, it's something that you might say. It's a lyrical hook. Yeah. But sometimes it gets quite close to the recording session. You don't have much more than that, you know? Or in a theme. Yeah. Really.
Actually, that's coming up to this. That's quite a good. That's something I think we've done more and more of. Is you know, when you're writing a song and you have a hook, a melody line, sometimes you just naturally sing something over the top of it, and it might not seem to mean that much. Recently, we've been sticking with that. You know, whatever the sentence was, just sticking with it because it was what, and then evolving the lyrics from there. Which, is a sort of, I think that's a decision, certainly recently we've been doing.
I think we wanted to do a few things because it's just a really good way to get in touch with people. Every month you have something new to show people, and that can be people who are already following you, people who might be following you, people who are listening to Six Music and have just stumbled across you. So it was, in that sense, it was a really good way to reach people and just keep reminding them that, you know, we're here and you know, we have music that we think they'll enjoy.
But also I think it was, I mean, it was a consciously imposed, sort of self-imposed discipline, you know, to be able to have to churn something out every month. And we'd recently finished another first album, and we kind of wanted to keep, you know, not sort of sit back and think, right, well, we don't have to do anything for another 2 years. We wanted to kind of keep momentum going, and and this seemed like a kind of, you know, good creative problem to set ourselves, that we have to, you know, but come the 31st of the month we have to produce something, and we did stick to it. And it really helped having for some reason Gideon Coe from Six Music, he really picked up on our first record and he played it an awful lot, and we thought, well, why don't we sort of broach this possibility with him, and he was very keen to do it, and that kind of sharpened our minds even more, because it wasn't just that we had to send it out by the end of it, we actually had to, you know, have it finished and send it into the BBC and all that, and the, you know, the embarrassment of not meeting the deadline was
too much.
Managed to
yeah.